22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. Today, look around America. We see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. And are not afraid to say it. And are not.
Yes, and I'm not afraid to say it. Welcome. It's your boy, AJ Woodson. I'm holding it down. My partner, Damon K. Jones, is on his way. He got caught up at the Kensico Dam. Shout out to everybody we've seen out there, everybody who grabbed copies of the newspaper. Today has been a busy day. We're doing a special 1 hour show because we got an event between 6 and 9. The good news is there's only 2 days left to the election, and I could not be more happier. I can't wait till Wednesday when it's over. But I want to just say this real quick. I want to start off like this real quick. Yo, this is a very important election. Everybody need to get up, get out, and vote. I can't say that any stronger. Get up, get out, and vote. A vote is not a Valentine. You are not declaring your love for a candidate. You're not picking a partner for life. You know what I'm saying? You are just picking someone to run that you think would be better to run the office right now. So everybody needs to get out there. 2 very important elections. There is the Westchester County District Attorney's Office. For all of y'all people out there talking about you want criminal justice reform, for all of you out there who complain about the criminal justice system, the greatest thing you can do, and it's free, is to go out and vote for the Westchester County District Attorney's Office. The person you put in office is the person who's going to dictate who's going to run the criminal justice system in your county, how cases will be handled, and all of that. So it is a very important race. Everybody needs to go out. Black Westchester makes no bones about it. We have endorsed William Wagstaff. We like Susan Kike. She was a very good judge. She ruled in a lot of cases that we covered. You know, OK Freddy's. She stopped the Thomas administration from putting the locks on Cupcake Cutie when they tried to come after us. But for me as a black man, for me as the editor-in-chief of Black Westchester, I really feel that we need a district attorney who looks at things from a civil rights attorney's lens. Let me explain. Most people who come in with a prosecutor's lens. And that's how they go into all of these cases, with a prosecutor's lens. And I think one of the greatest things we can do for criminal justice reform is to vote for William Wagstaff for district attorney. I think that would be a good look. Second election that is very important, the congressional race in CD16, Congressman Jamal Bowman's seat being challenged by County Executive George Latimer. This is the most expensive primary in Congress in the history of the United States of America. They are spending outrageous amounts of money, more than they've ever spent in any congressional race. Some of that is to get Jamal Bowman out of office because he's been very outspoken. He has represents some of the marginalized communities that often get ignored. A lot of politicians say, I've done this for black people. George Latimer says, I built Memorial Field for Mount Vernon. That didn't change the quality of life for the people of Mount Vernon. It didn't help the public safety. And, we are supporting Congressman Jamal Bowman. You can see both. We talked about that in the last episode. We talked about that in the double issue of the newspaper that's out now. But more importantly, today, Damon will be on shortly, and he will be addressing this. I just watched that Kendrick Lamar concert that was on Juneteenth. Great concert. He must have performed They Not Like Us about 5 times. But more importantly, what a lot of people missed, and I didn't see the media covering, he got together a whole lot of sects of the Bloods and the Crips together on stage in unity. So brothers Crip walking, dancing with Bloods. And they all stood together for a picture. They came on and in unity. And I haven't seen a image like that since the truce after the Rodney King situation, after the riots. I hadn't really seen anything like that. It was a very important moment, and not just hip hop, but in the history. It was a beautiful moment. But the reason I bring that up in the song "They Not Like Us" is one line that is the theme of the show that I'm doing today. He says, sometimes you just got to pop out and show people. That's not the word he used, but you just got to pop out and show people. I don't know why people always want to mess with us when we're not bothering them. Earlier today, former mayor, Peekskill Mayor Andre Rainey posted a picture about support for George Latimer, talking about misinformation in the press, and all the pictures of George with all the people he showed, at least a 5-year-old picture of me and George with the Black Westchester banner over it. If you didn't know better, you would think Black Westchester was endorsing George Latimer. That is not the case. We have come out in strong support for Jamal Bowman, and I don't want there to be any misunderstanding and misrepresentation of the facts. And I have a guest that I'm about to bring on in a minute. He's patiently waiting in the green room. But I just wanted to say, one thing that was said was there was a lot of misinformation. People say that a lot, but never tell you what the misinformation is. They never call out what on there was not true. Everything we wrote, we stand by. We have the receipts. But I do have some facts for you, since we want to talk about truth and misinformation and facts. Fact 1, when Andre Rainey was running, when he was a city councilman, and he was the youngest city councilman in the city of Peekskill, Black Westchester gave him a lot of love. When he decided he wanted to run for mayor, came down to the studio, brought his whole ticket with him, all his candidates that he was running with for city council, and came on our show. Came on our show several times. When he got out of office and he wanted to do this thing for fathers' rights, especially Black fathers, he called us up. He wanted to do a show. We did the show with him. Now all of a sudden, we're a source of misinformation. It's funny when people need you cool. But the minute you disagree with them on something, then all of a sudden it's misinformation. We was real credible when he was doing those things and he needed us. All of a sudden now we're full of misinformation. So those are some of the things we're going to be addressing today. I do want to bring on my guest today, a brother who was in the struggle, who's out there just like me and Damon. Most of y'all know him. My brother Daryl Davis. I met him early in the days at WFAS and WVOX. He holds it down. Welcome to the show, Brother Darrell.
Hey, brother, can you hear me okay?
I hear you great, brother. I hear you great. We've been meaning to get you on for a while. I kept saying we're going to get you on. This is the first time we got you on.
Yeah. Well, all things happen in time. And honestly, I personally cannot think of a better time. You know what
Um,
I'm saying?
now,
Like,
now, before we
yeah.
even get any further,
Hmm.
you just released, before we get any further on the topic, you just released an endorsement uh, in the CD16 race. Would you like to speak on that and why? Share why you did?
Oh, absolutely. I endorse Jamal Bowman. I did a podcast saying that and a Facebook Live saying that. And the reason, there's a bunch of reasons why. First of all, I know George Latimer. I worked on at least one of his campaigns. Um, I currently work for Westchester County, and so it's a little risky. The retaliation is real with some of these politicians. But the
All of the
big
politicians, real talk.
right, yeah, real talk, bro. I mean, my story. That's topic for another show. But
Right.
Latimer and Jenkins came after me ferociously, because they get donations from some people in Peekskill, and I've been standing in the way of some $1 million projects, and I find myself escorted off of my county job by county police. Topic for another day.
Right.
Jamal Bowman. Jamal Bowman is for peace. He's for jobs. He's for youth programs. He's for things that affect us right here in this country. He is an African American voice that George Latimer and others ruthlessly went after only because he called for a ceasefire. Now, here's a man who's calling for peace, for saving lives, for being against bombing women and children and civilians and hospitals and food trucks. Who would have a problem with that? And so I'm standing with Jamal Bowman. I see journalists all over the country who have no stake in this race saying what a tragedy. And AJ, you talked about it. Record dollars being spent basically to buy a seat for George Latimer to vote in the interest of the people who are giving him this money. And imagine if Iran decides to buy a seat next year. And so, for all those reasons, I'm going with Jamal Bowman.
I appreciate that. And I just want to say before we move on to, APAC is the group in question in their pack UDP or UPD, whatever it is. Um,
Hmm.
um, they they should have to register as a foreign agent or something like that. There's a thing
Hmm.
when you represent, because, and this is not very popular, and I don't shouldn't have to say this over and over and over. Black Westchester has condemned what happened on October 7th. It was atrocious what Hamas
Hmm.
did on October 7th.
Hmm.
But it has
Hmm.
been equally atrocious, all the innocent people who have got killed on the other side. And that part, when you say that part, that makes you anti-Semitic. I've been a black man for a long time who's been called anti a whole lot of things because I was standing up for being pro-black. But how can you humanly, whether you're Christian, just a human, watch what's going on in Gaza, the famine, the stopping all the food and stuff from going in, the bombing of hospitals and churches and stuff, and some of those are Christian churches. Don't I don't know why that's getting lost. And not feel for the other side and say there needs to be a ceasefire. And there's been lies. Mondear Jones came out and said the reason he support Latimer is because Jamal Bowman called for a ceasefire right after October 7th before Israel struck back. That's not a ceasefire. And let's think about that. If Israel hadn't struck back and he called for a ceasefire, he would actually be calling for Hamas to stop firing, right? So how is that
Exactly. No.
anti-Israel? So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, no,
This,
and it's a crucial point, bro, because first of all, Mondaire Jones, an African American, being part of getting rid of another African American voice, the only black congressman that we have in Westchester County, and his excuse is Israel. So he's endorsing Latimer. I mean, listen, anybody, it's fine to support Israel's right to exist.
I support it. Oh, we lost my brother. I'm not sure where he went. He'll be back. While we're waiting for Damon and waiting for him, Senator Bernie Sanders was in town the other day, and I'm going to play a video of him speaking, and then we're going to get back into the show.
Thank you, Jamal. And now we're going to take a break and go into the river. What do you think? Jamal said, get out of the heat in Washington. Come to cool Hastings on the Hudson. Thank you, Jamal. I'm just going to be brief. Generally speaking, when we talk about
we're gonna play this
elections,
clip and get back into it.
it is supposed to be a contest between people with different ideas. That's what it's about. This is my view. You have your view. We'll debate it. People like you, you win. People like my ideas, I win. That, brothers and sisters, is not what this election, this primary election, is about.
Okay, I'm going to talk
yes,
with something
Jamal
else playing in my
disagrees
ear,
with its opponent and thinks that health care is a human right.
Play the clip of Bernie Sanders real quick.
Okay.
His opponent disagrees.
As soon as that's open, we're going to get back.
Okay.
Yes, Jamal understands that climate change is an existential threat to our planet, and we got to get our act together, or the world we leave our kids and grandchildren becomes uninhabitable. Jamal understands that. Jamal understands that there's something wrong when we are giving massive tax breaks to billionaires. At the same time, we got people all over the country sleeping out on the streets. His opponent disagrees. Jamal has a problem, as I do, with spending almost $1 trillion on the military when working families cannot afford child care for their little ones. But democracy is about that difference of opinion. Jamal's opponent is entitled to his opinions. That is not, brothers and sisters, what this primary election is about. And that is why this particular election is attracting national importance, and why, in my view, it is one of the most significant elections in the modern history of this country. Because this election is not about a clash of ideas. This election is about whether billionaire super PACs can buy our democracy. What democracy is to me is one person, one vote. That is not what this campaign is about. As Jamal indicated, in an unprecedented way, we are seeing AIPAC and other super PACs put more money into this primary than in any primary in the history of the United States.
I just wanted to show that we had lost you real quick, and I wanted to show that. And I can show the rest of it later. But, you know, when I say things, Damon's in the building. When I say things, people go, oh, you know, you're making that up or you're misleading the public. These are facts that every media outlet has. Did you just heard Bernie Sanders? I didn't have nothing to do with Bernie Sanders saying that. He explained to you the same thing me and Brother Darrell was just telling you. There's more money spent in this race to get a black man out of office than any race ever in the history of the U.S. politics.
Yeah, can you imagine? D, what's up, Damon? You here?
Yeah, what's up? What's up? I'm here, man.
What's up, bro? Yeah, good to hear your voice, man. You know, and you know what I was saying, but before Bernie came in, is that you can be for Israel's right to exist. You can be for Israel's right to self-defense. But what's going on now is way beyond that, and the fact that Jews in Israel, in Tel Aviv, has been raising hell. Jews all over the world. And by the way, Jamal has a lot of them supporting him. Jewish people, Palestinians, Christians, you know. And so the weapon The double-edged sword of anti-Semitism. I don't know how calling for peace can possibly be anti-Semitic. Okay, if you want to say you have a right to self-defense, that's one thing. But it is impossible to aim for self-defense and hit genocide, and that's where we are today. And it has to be said. Dr. King would say it.
Right. Malcolm X would say it. We keep losing. His connection is off. We keep losing him. I guess we'll get him back in a minute. So I waited for you. I started briefly. We're going to get back into Brother Darrell when he gets back. I started briefly. I just showed a little clip from Bernie Sanders too. I started briefly talking about the post earlier today by former Mayor Andre Rainey, who basically was saying, let me just read it to you. So we don't, you like, oh, we misquote him or something. You just read this what this brother put on his Facebook page, which we both have a problem with. Hold on.
You want me to share it?
Yeah, if you got it, yeah, share it.
Hold on. For everybody that's watching, man, like what the conversation, the conversation, that we're having. Former Peekskill Mayor Andre Rainey, like I really don't understand, the logic of some Black people. So he went, damn, where the hell is this thing? He went on
Instagram.
He went on Instagram and he made a post. He made a post supporting George Latimer, which I mean, anybody has the right to do. If that's who you are, that's who you are. But what was very disturbing, I can't even find the damn thing now. Hold on a second. What is very disturbing is that he added
so let me read what I got it. Let me read it. Yeah, let me read it first.
No, I'm going to try to put it up too. Go ahead.
Politicians often exploit the lack of thorough research by the average voter, strategically spreading misinformation to manipulate public opinion. They bank on people's tendencies to accept sensational claims at face value, knowing that many won't take the time to verify the facts. In the case of the long-serving candidate suddenly being accused of racism after over 40 years, is vital to approach such claims with skepticism and seek out credible evidence. As Flavor Flav once said, it's important that without proof, we don't believe the hype and we instead reevaluate political reviews. Now, with this, there's a picture of, it's a video, it's a picture of him. There's a picture of Black Westchester with Latimer about 5 years ago. And there's like 5 other group pictures of Latimer and a groups of people. And 2 things, for those who are not really paying attention, they might not be reading Black Westchester every day. They might be bombarded with all the commercials and they still haven't made their mind to vote. And they saw that, just as he said, some of them are not going to, they're going to take it on face value. That picture looks like Black Westchester is endorsing George Latimer. That's what that looks like. It's a picture from, you see, I ain't got no facial hair in that. That picture is from about 5. Do you know when this picture is? This picture is
when he first ran.
This is Andre Stewart Cousins' re-election thing. That's why I'm all dressed up. Because back then I was only getting dressed up for Andrea.
I don't know, because these are 2 different pictures. Because he has
no. That one with you is a press conference. The one with me, where I got the tie on, that is actually an event. So that's not the press conference. But the fact is, once you see Black Westchester, People Before Politics, and you see the picture of us, and you see Latimer, without on face value, that looks like Black Westchester is endorsing Latimer. Okay, I'm about to go out and vote. Let me go vote for Latimer. Without knowing any of the facts. And then when you talk about misinformation, you constantly talk about misinformation and you don't show what information we misinforming people with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a tactic of the Republicans. They're always calling something fake news, but they don't tell you why it's fake. Just that it's fake. And I want to before Damon goes, I want to speak. I want to be very clear. I said earlier, Rainey enjoyed a lot of our support. We've never doubted that we supported Latimer. We supported him against Astorino. We supported him for re-election. We supported some of his initiatives during the time he was county exec. What I can't stand by is the acts of AIPAC and all those people that are giving him money and the things they're doing and the falsehoods and misinformation that they're putting out about this black man. You know what I'm saying? And to the point, even telling Republicans to switch their party affiliation to Democrat so they can vote Jamal out. Now, you got the right to vote for who you want, but Democrats should be able to, if they think George is the candidate, they should be able to vote for him without the interference of the Republicans in a Democratic primary. If they think Jamal deserves re-election, they should be free to vote for Jamal for re-election in a Democratic primary without interference of Republicans. Those are one of the first points I made. These are the acts that AIPAC has done. And AIPAC has made a lot of comments that were not all true and a lot of dog whistles and anti-blackness. And I can't stand by that as a black man. I cannot support the candidate that they're supporting. And I've told George and Ken that I'm very disappointed that he's taking money from this group.
Right. You guys can hear me all right now?
Yes. Go ahead, Daryl.
Yeah, I think now I'm just now seeing, this picture. I saw something to this earlier, maybe somewhere else, but here's what I'm reading from this, the so-called misinformation that I think Rainey is alleging is the allegations of racism on Latimer's part. And I don't want to misquote this brother, but here's what I know. When you a white who ran as a white liberal your whole career and enjoyed the support of black people, to go after one of ours is the height of racism. It's racially insensitive. It's racially destructive, and he did that. And then when he was called on it, oh, well, some of my best friends are black. That is the classic statement that a white racist makes. And beyond that, you know what that tells me? He ain't got no black advisors, because they never would have let him get away with saying something like that. That's racism.
No real ones, no real advisors anyway, because he probably got black people telling him, but they ain't the three of us. They not like us. They not like us. No. So there's the racism along those lines, and then again, going after Jamal Bowman, a black man, a black voice, and as I said before to both of you guys, he ain't the first. They came after me. I don't know who these developers are that Latimer took money from in Peekskill that he didn't report. I do know that I've been standing in a way of $1 million projects, and the Dems asked me to step aside, and I said no. And shortly after that, county police came to my job and took me out. Latimer didn't take my calls. Ken Jenkins stopped taking my calls. They know me. So racism, yeah, I think that R word belongs there. But let me be clear, though. We never called George a racist, never called George a racist. We talked about the racist tactics of the people who support him. No one has ever called George a racist. I have actually been interviewed because of a story I did. I was interviewed for quotes about George for the Washington Post, the Huffington Post, the Intercept, the Daily Post. The New York Post, the Daily News, the Final Call, Bloomberg News, and several of them, the question they asked is, do I think George is a racist? And I said, I wouldn't go as far as to call him a racist. I think he suffers from implicit bias and white privilege. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on tape with many other media outlets that I actually said, I would never say George is a racist. We never called him a racist. AIPAC has been using racist tactics. The people supporting him have been using racist tendencies and things that they're doing. That's what we said. So if you're going to quote us and you're going to talk about what we said, at least have the knowledge to know what we said. If you're not reading, and for this goes to everybody, and I've said this before, if you don't read Black Westchester, and you don't watch people before politics, and someone don't come to me telling you about something you heard. Give me the dignity to read what I wrote or listen to what I said before you come at me. Now, it's your right to criticize me, but at least know what you're talking about when you criticize me. And I was very taken back that this individual, Andre Rainey, who enjoyed our support, who, when doing stories for him, I got so much backlash from family members of his was telling me that he was no good, who just hit me today, said, I told you he was no good. I told you he couldn't be trusted. Actually, she just sent me a message today. When we did the story, like there's a lot of things Black Westchester don't do, but we just talking now. When we did the story and he came to me and Damon about the Black fatherhood rights, something that was very important to both of us. When we did the story, y'all started getting emails from his baby mamas and all their friends talking about he shouldn't be representing. He ain't a good father. He ain't never took care of his kids. He didn't pay child support. Was trying to give me all his documents to do stories on him, and I didn't do the stories. You know what I'm saying? So this is not the person I'm expecting to be coming at me. Dude, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then my whole thing is, if you have my phone number, call me. Don't try to take me. Don't try to call me out on social media. And you know how to contact me. So now I'm thinking you attacking my credibility when you're saying that we're giving out misinformation. When you're misinforming people that we're calling him a racist, and all of these things, you're calling for my credibility. And in doing what we do, credibility is one of the few things you do have. Like the word, like the all I got is my word, my balls, and I'm break neither one of them for nobody. Credibility is very important. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't got no credibility, ain't nobody can take you serious. So I will always defend my credibility against any and everybody. So that's what this is about. Like Kendrick Lamar, sometimes you got to pop out and show individuals. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I know you had, in my conversation with him, your name came up about conversations about how you used to back him and then you turned on him or something.
Well, let's deal with that. I did back him. When he first ran for city council, he called me. He wanted me to come to his announcement in Peekskill, and I told him, I said, brother, I don't know if I could come. I was just in a car accident. This old woman hit me head on. My back is injured. I came anyway. And when I came, the Democrats who we had just gotten rid of told me to leave. And I backed him anyway. But once I saw where he was going with the Kiley Center and public housing, basically setting it up to be sold to private developers, I tried to talk to him, and it went nowhere. So I didn't turn on him. I stood with my people. There's a difference.
Absolutely.
All right? There's a difference. I didn't turn on anybody. I stood with my people like I have always done. I served as housing authority chairman. I helped organize tenant associations there. My leadership in the Committee for Justice got that Kiley Center built, and he, when he was mayor, made deals to turn it into the Boys and Girls Club. The same Boys and Girls Club in Mount Kisco that they've recently been indicting for molesting children, he wants to bring to Peekskill. That whole deal is under investigation. I have an email from HUD. They're going to come up and look at this bidding process. Because as I mentioned, Wilder Balter has given a lot of money to Peekskill, to Ken Jenkins and others, and then ended up with that contract. That's all being looked at by the feds. And that's my work. And that's me standing up for trying to help Black people not get mass evicted.
Right.
Yes, I didn't turn on him. I stood with my people.
Right.
And we didn't turn on him either. He did this to himself. Like, he came at Damon on a Facebook page once. He came at me in a group, a William Wagstaff Facebook group, and started questioning me about something that he didn't know what he was talking about. And then I'm like, yo, so you obviously want our attention. So we're going to give you a little bit of attention today. That's what we're doing. We're giving you a little bit of attention, and then we're going to go back to what we was doing. And he said to me in the text message, well, you know, I'm still waiting. Damon never got back to me. You know what? I know this is disrespect. I mean this disrespectfully. And I told him, you know what? Damon don't argue with bench players on the other team. When you're the star player of your team, you don't argue with bench players on another team that are not even in the game. So you'll both get kicked out, and then you hurt your team, but, you know, it's a win for him because he ain't playing anyway. You ain't even in the game. And you insert yourself in an election that you're not even in the district. First off, Peekskill is not in CD16. Secondly, you don't live in Peekskill no more by all accounts that everybody told me. And I don't think you live in Westchester no more because you kept dealing with family court up in Putnam or Rockland or something. So like, yo, dude, like what I MC Light, I cram to understand, my brother. Like, and I tried to talk to you. And before I do anything like this, I talk to people. Everybody I've ever had a conversation and did this with, I've talked to them over and over. And obviously my words are hitting brick walls, and you still come out and try to publicly shame us or misrepresent us. And you know what? So since you want to make it public, we're gonna handle this publicly. Go ahead, Damon.
Yeah. First of all, let me make this clear. I wouldn't be doing this video if he didn't put our pictures.
We wouldn't have did a show today.
Let me
all
finish.
the stuff we got to do.
Just let me finish, man. Just let me finish this.
You go.
I want to make it clear to Andre and whoever he's buck dancing to, that we would have never addressed this if he didn't put our pictures in his video endorsing George Latimer. I still don't understand, even reading this post, what is the purpose? But I wanted to post also his response on my page, which again, it really, it really doesn't make. Oh damn! What happened to it? I don't even know what happened to it. It really doesn't. No. I'm posting something else. Yeah, it's loading up. It really doesn't really make any sense. So he responds on my page. Nothing in my post says that you support him, even though he's supporting him and he's using our likeness, and he's using our company logo, and he's using the radio show's logo. People who take time to realize that, but that's not the case, bro. But I guess your next post is that I sold out too. No, you've been known as a sellout for a long time. What I'm saying is that what you did is some low frequency beta black man shit. That's what you did. I'm not saying you a sellout. They already called you a sellout. I don't have to say that. I don't have to say that. So you could think what you want to think, but people already have said your reputation is a sellout. I don't have to say that. What I'm saying is what you did is really not manly. As the streets say, that's some real sucker shit that you did. It's showing that you're a sucker. To take someone else's pictures, some old pictures, and put it in your political endorsement, like black people are actually supporting George Latimer. Just put your own likeness up. Take your own damn pictures and put it up. No, I didn't call you because I ain't got time to deal with you and your foolishness. No, I didn't call you. I don't have to. I'm 55. I don't have to deal with bullshit. Especially from anybody from you. We're out here trying to save our people. We're not out here trying to buck dance and trying to gain favor of somebody. Yeah, we had a conversation. You go your way, I go my way. But when you use our pictures and you use our company logo, after we're not supporting him. And you know why? We're not supporting him on the war in Gaza. We're not supporting him on his bigoted Islamophobic campaign and racist campaign. We're not supporting him on that. Now, if you wanna support him, that's on you. That's on you, bro. You do that, and you enjoy it. But don't put us into your childness thing. Don't worry about what we support. Worry about your own damn child support. That's what you need to be worried about. And I'm going to say it again. Don't worry about what we support. Worry about your child support, Andre. Yeah, I went there because you had no business putting our pictures up. Any grown-ass man, any real man would know that that's really foul. Any real man. But I see you're not a man. I see you're not a man. No, I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to talk to you. I don't have to talk to you. For what?
And all three of the men on this screen are old enough to be your father. Hell, me and Damon got kids your age.
Exactly.
I'm saying, dude,
exactly.
Like keeping it real, like we got kids your age, yo, dude. Like, yo, for real talk. Like,
and I wouldn't. And let me tell you something. If my son did that, I would cuss his little behind out for doing something like that. That's real low frequency, bro. You can't get no respect for that.
You didn't have to bring us into it.
Then you respond like a child. That's why I didn't call you, because I'm dealing with a child. I'm dealing with a child. I'm like Michael Jordan coming back to the goddamn Washington, dealing with children. Come on, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And we wouldn't have this video if you didn't use our name and likeness so we could correct that.
And that's what this is about.
And moving forward, don't you ever do anything like that again. You're not even embarrassed about it. And that's what's sad. That's what's really sad from a man who's trying to be grown. This was really sad.
And to brothers who only did nothing but try to help you.
Exactly. We should have did all those articles about you not paying child support.
They gave me, dude, when we write stories, we have receipts. They sent me documents. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even think I saved them because I don't get down like that. It wasn't a story that it really didn't make a difference. It wasn't really, everything's not news. You know what I'm saying? We're not TMZ. You know what I'm saying? So we don't do all those stories. If every story we do, there's 10 we don't do. But those are the couple of stories we didn't do. They sent me documents and promised to send more if I wanted them. But that didn't really serve the purpose of didn't really, we didn't do it. And we caught heat for not doing it. Caught heat. Specifically me. They contacted me. Yo, I was called all kinds of things because I wouldn't call you out.
Exactly.
Real talk.
Exactly.
I don't want to keep you all day, Brother Dowler. I wanted to give you a chance.
Nah, man, I got some popcorn, man. You know, I got me a Coke, a nice Coke.
No,
you're familiar with this individual because you live in Peekskill.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
No.
And let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Darryl.
No, I mean, I've always tried to give this brother respect, but as you guys pointed out, my kids are actually older than him. I have two kids older than him, and he came at me in a private meeting, called me a coward, and that he have no respect for me, and I didn't know where that came from. But what I do know is that I don't allow anyone to talk to me like that. But if I have a disagreement with any brother or sister who's out here, whether I agree with their politics or not, I still give them respect for at least being out here, for making the time.
Right.
But this dude, he's disrespectful. He's petty. I spoke up for some black men when he was mayor at a council meeting, which, by the way, we won in court hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I spoke up, and he dissed me, and he gave my private email to some rapper that emailed me and said, I'm coming to the next council meeting, and I'm going to be looking for you, and I'm not going to let you bring this black man down. What? Brother, tell me what time you will be there. But this is the stuff he does.
Yeah, it's horrible.
No surprise. There's something seriously wrong with that kind of behavior.
Exactly. And and I tell people, y'all can support Lattimore if you want. I have friends that are close to me that support Lattimore. And
Me too, brother.
Me too.
At the end of the day, I'm going to be on the right side of history. And regardless if Lattimore win or lose, he will go down in Westchester's history as the most divisive, bigoted, Islamophobic, racist campaign that Westchester County has ever had. And I'm saying now, and I told Ken, I'm transparent. I don't know how you could fix this, bro. See, but my whole thing, and I'll say it here for those who might watch later, is that what we can't do after June 25th is the coalitions that have been built around this effort to keep Jamal in. It's been white, black, Arab. It's been Christian, Jews, Muslim, right? We have to stick together.
Liberals.
Right, liberals and progressives. But we, after 2020, after the election day, we still have to stick together.
That's a
fact.
This
is the problem that we always do. We come together, and then even if we win or lose the issue, we go our separate ways. We can't, brothers and sisters, we can't do that anymore. After this election, we have to stay together. Whether we form a council with all the representatives and form our own political action committee where we take 50 cents, $1, $10, whatever people can give, so we could have our own kitty to run our own elected officials throughout Westchester.
Absolutely. I think that that's a real conversation. I think that that's a meeting that needs to happen, a grassroots coalition meeting to stay together, because, you know, whether if Latimer wins, democracy loses.
Right.
Black voices lose. Democracy is at risk. Maybe Iran will buy a couple of seats next time around. There's so much at stake here. And if Latimer wins, I can guarantee you they're not going to spend another $30 million to get him reelected. So we need to be in position.
Right. Absolutely. But
the whole thing is he don't plan on serving but one term. Like he don't plan on being there forever.
Yeah,
he
but
wants to serve 1 or 2 terms. It's just about getting Jamal out.
They'll put money in the next guy, right? Yeah. They'll put money and into the next person that will want Israel's money. And I really hope Jamal wins, because I told Jamal we need to look at how is this money happening, because is the money actually going, or they're following the money back to buy more politicians? Because this is almost like money laundering, because where are they getting all this money?
Those are good questions. But you know what's encouraging is that aside from you guys who've been on the front line, you know, and I'm proud to call y'all my brothers and fellow warriors, I'm seeing journalists all over the country with no stake in this election saying this is a threat, this kind of money. It has to be looked at. There has to be some reforms. We got to keep it going.
Like I told you, I have got calls for quotes from the Washington Post, the Huffington Post, the New York Post, Bloomberg News, CBS, the Final Call, the Gothamist, the Intercept, a couple I never even heard of.
They heard of y'all.
Yeah, they heard of us now. They heard of us now because they know we were boots on the ground and we were covering these issues, and they called me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, if anything, you actually raised our bar a little bit. You talking about, you know, discrediting us. But it's just like everybody is watching. Hell, Chris Hayes was just talking about it on MSNBC. And what he said was very telling. He said, you have a Democrat, there's all this money for a Democrat to take out another Democrat and a 20 plus D district. Like, this is a heavily, like, that's the kind of money Democrats have spent against Republicans. This is like presidential kind of money right now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's a congressional seat. And it's like, yo, you know, so here's why. So Jamal has been one of the most vocalists. He's the outlier. He's the one that encourages other people. He's on the front line. You know, you try to cut the head off so everybody else will just fall in line. That's what this is about, cutting the head off. Killing what they look at as one of the leaders of the movement, one of the most outspoken ones. And this is still America, right? We still supposed to be able to speak on what we don't have to agree. I'm seeing prominent Jews come out for Jamal, like you know what I'm saying? Like, and people that are pro-Israel, that are upset of what Israel is doing and upset with his prime minister. Hell, they trying to get warrants to arrest him, the prime minister.
Well, yeah. Well, they're getting warrants to arrest Netanyahu and some in his cabinet and Hamas, right? And I agree that they both
Right.
need to be arrested. But I'm going to say it here and I'm going to say it every show, is that I am totally disheartened of the silence of the black pastors throughout Westchester County and within CD16 at this time, because we're having this election, and I know most of them have gone to theological seminary, and for them to be silent on the killing and slaughtering of the descendants of our Christ. They know in the theological seminary, that Jesus was a black man. He was a Palestinian Jew. So how are you silent when they slaughter the descendants of Jesus Christ? How are you silent when they drop bombs on the most oldest Christian church in the world, right there in Palestine? And you say absolutely nothing, and you stay silent. See, this is why the Bible says Jesus is going to come back and he's going to deny many of us.
I don't know you.
He's going to say, I don't know you. And you know why? Because you stayed silent when his people was being slaughtered. I'm no pastor, but I know the book.
And we also know 3 names in Westchester who will not be counted among those who were silent or supported genocide.
Exactly.
Okay. Show me the other names. I'm curious. I'm sure they exist.
Well, we gotta say 4. The man who is at the heart of all is Bowman. That's why they're going after Bowman, because he's not
exactly.
That's
exactly right. You know, and let me say that there are grassroots black activists that are against this, but they don't have the visibility that the 3 of us have. But they are black elected officials. They are black pastors. Where the freak are they? Where are their voices?
So some of them work for the county, or their family work for the county. They're worried about their job. And they have appointed jobs. They're not civil service jobs where they took tests like Damon did. So once you're appointed, you can be unappointed. You know, then there's the organizations and some churches who are getting grants and funding from the county government. That quiets up some stuff, because you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. You know what I'm saying?
It was designed to quiet up pastors, to keep pastors quiet, right?
We had a black pastor here last week who said that too.
Huh?
We had a black pastor on who in the district who said these exact words.
Right, because it's called the faith. What is it called? The faith something initiative. Hold on a second.
Well, I do know that historically we paid pastors rent, mortgage, and car notes so that he could be a free voice for us.
Right.
Now they taking all this government money so that they have a bigger house, a fancier car. And I'm not against any of those things. I don't mind having them myself, but not that way.
Right.
Exactly. You know, one thing Reverend Richardson said, he did say, if he's on the issue, he says what he wants because his church takes care of him.
Exactly.
Right? And that's the way it's supposed to be. But when you have pastors that's trying to get jobs, and I understand everybody got to eat, but either you're going to be a pastor or you're going to be a county worker. Because when will you say, thus say the Lord?
Yeah, but see, the other thing is, pastor can have a meeting with his congregation, his deacons, and say, go out here and support Jamal Bowman. Speak out. Put out a statement from the deacons board. There's a lot of ways to do this. Being silent ain't one of them. Dr. King, the silence of our friends. That's what we're going to remember. Not the noise of our enemies, the silence of our friends.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they wouldn't even let Dr. King preach in a lot of black churches because he spoke out against the war.
You're absolutely right. You absolutely right. And now all these pastors is claiming is claiming king. They quoting king. They quoting king. So they quoting king more than they quote Jesus.
But ain't walking
and
the walk, bro.
and they didn't even allow the man in his church when he was alive.
Right.
Because they was scared.
Right. Takes courage. Takes courage to stand up. It takes courage to stand up. Everybody don't have it, and I have no beef with people who don't have the guts to do what we do. But there's something else. There's always something you can do.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Hey, listen, I'm not. We're going to go get this right here tests our humanity on who we are, because yes, this race is around the treatment of people of color overseas, and they're trying to silence. They're even trying to pass laws to silence. So what will George do when these laws come across to silence people who speak out in what Israel is doing? George is going to vote for that? He's going to vote for going against our constitutional right of free speech?
Well, he's going to have to check with his AIPAC advisor and see how they want him to move. Remember, I played that video from a Republican who said they all have an AIPAC handler. And he said it's some joke amongst them when they talk about how they're going to vote. They're like, oh, let me go check with my AIPAC handler.
Yeah, because
this is a sitting white Republican congressperson who basically saying the quiet part out loud on video. This is not me making this up. He's speaking about the way it is. And all these people who give money to, they have an AIPAC handler, according to him. And don't think, and here's the thing, let's not be foolish to think that they spent this ungodly amount of money, this historical amount of money that they never spent before, and they don't want anything in return.
Right.
You're bought and paid for at that point. Vote against the way they want you to vote a few times. See what happens now. See what happens after they spent all that money on you. I'm like, let's keep it real. You're a career politician. You should know. You know this. You've been in the game on every level. State assembly, state senator. You were a county legislator or a city council person at one point. Now you CE. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and the fact that you want to go in there just to defeat Jamal, but you have no plans on being in there for like more than a term or two. Like, how much are you really going to get done? You're going to deny this man his third term. You're going to be the reason if he doesn't get it, that he doesn't get it. For you to go do one term and maybe 2 terms and then you're out. But I don't think you're going to get reelected regardless after this. But if you do make it, because
but he's lost his whole base. There's a human tragedy.
I heard from all of them, Daryl. They've contacted Black progressives. They wrote articles and op-eds. How we raised money for you in our house, how we campaigned for you, how we were on your transition team. You know what I'm saying? Like, they explained who they were to him and why they don't support him no more. Like, it's not like we're making this up. They came to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wanted it to be known that they're not messing with this dude no more, and they don't appreciate what he's doing. And they like, who is this dude? This ain't the dude we supported back then.
Right. I've seen some of those letters.
Right. They sent us emails. We got 2 issues out right now. They're full of those people speaking up. Westchester progressive, Palestinians. A bunch of Jewish district leaders wrote him a letter telling him not to run. Jewish district leaders.
But could you imagine if the Black community raised $30 million to knock off a Jewish congressman?
Exactly.
Could you imagine?
We'd be anti all kinds of stuff, but yeah.
Dragged by the media, anti-Semite, anti-Semitic, anti-this, anti-that. Could you imagine? And Latimer, because of white skin privilege, is doing this. And nowhere near the outcry it should be.
Absolutely.
Listen, out on the shelves now. Yo, AJ, man, I had to steal this copy from somebody, and it's my goddamn paper. Out on shelves now, people. If y'all are out and about, get this before you cast your vote. Black Westchester, Jamal Bowman issue is a true champion for diverse communities in New York 16 congressional district. Definitely and read, because we have to push back on the lies that's being told. And the other issue that's out in the street is the real George Latimer.
I posted that on my Facebook page to my 7,000 followers.
That's it. and they could get the online version. Go right to blackwestchester.com and get the online version. And we want to thank everybody. And please, people that are watching, please, black men, don't do no beta male, low frequency stuff and take pictures of other people and use them to your benefit. That's not cool, man. Like that's really not cool. And I'm going to keep it there regardless, unless he takes more of my pictures, and then I might have to have a meeting with him. Because then it's very disrespectful and childish. But we had to address it because we don't want black people to think that we're supporting George Latimer, and because of who we are and the brand that we carry, that they will go out and give them their vote. No, we're not supporting him. We're supporting Jamal Bowman. Jamal Bowman has done excellent work in addressing the social ills of people, not just black people, but black, white, black and poor white, and Arabs and everybody else. And that's why we have a coalition of all races, all religions, saying Jamal Bowman needs to get reelected. You don't see him like George is posting a picture of 40 people and only one black person in the group. And I got the picture, but I'm not going to post it because of who the black person is.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I'm trying to be serious about it, and I'm trying to be respectful, because I think we really have to understand that, and we all that's here agree. George get in, black politics as the little black politics that we knew is over, and I'm sorry if people are offended on how we talking, but that's the way it's going to be, and nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change in our communities. Our communities haven't changed. If you want to be honest, from Democrat to Republican to Democrat, they haven't changed. They haven't changed. And it's unfortunate that we fall for the rhetoric, and we have to start looking at the bigger picture. Not just what goes on in our backyard, not just maybe my son got or my daughter got a grant or something like that, or something. You got to look at the big picture, how your choice is affecting everybody instead of just you. And that's being a grown-up. And that's all I gotta say, man.
Yo, my brother Daryl, any last words, and we out of here?
Yeah, well, no. I mean, only last words, keep me in the loop. Win, lose, or draw come election day, primary day, we should reconvene and decide where we're going to go from here. I'm on board, bro. Just give me a call.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Stop, freeze, before we go. County legislator, who's Gordon Burroughs?
Yeah. What about him?
Oh, he got arrested with cocaine.
Wait,
I
when?
I think that's an old story.
wait, when was this?
I just got text. It's on the Yonkers patch. County legislator faces cocaine charge. Yonkers legislator Gordon Burroughs faces misdemeanor charge after upstate police found a small amount of cocaine in his car.
Listen, I'm pretty sure. Check the date. This might be the second arrest, though, because that rings a bell to me.
Well, we'll look into that. If we find out what's going on, having the news for you later today, tomorrow, whatever.
Alrighty.
Bottom line, you have 2 days before Election Day. If you can't find copies of the current issues and you don't see them on Black Westchester for whatever the reason, DM me on any social media, email blackwestchester@gmail.com, and we will send you the links to the papers. Go out and vote. And it's not so much you going out and vote, making sure your neighbors vote, your family members vote. Check on the seniors in your neighborhood. See if they need a ride, especially in this heat, to the poll. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get everybody out in large numbers. Bottom line, you know what I'm saying? We've already told you who we're supporting. You can see my shirt. And we also Wagstaff for DA. So with that said, we out. This is a special edition of the show, short and sweet. And we want to thank my brother Daryl Davis, who's been doing work for decades. He's been in the fields. He's been in the trenches with us. We haven't been in the same trenches sometimes, but I see his work and he's seen our work. So I want to thank you for taking time to come and speak on that. Yo, Rainey, my brother, I just say to you, don't do that again. It was not necessary. I don't know, maybe you wanted some attention, so you got a little attention today. I ain't talking about it no more. It's done. You know what I'm saying? But just don't do that because, that misrepresents what we are and who we are and what we do. And I will defend the credibility of Black Westchester over anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care how cool we are. You know what I'm saying? When you attack my credibility or misrepresent who we are not supporting George Latimer in this race. And we have spelled out the reasons why on the website, in the newspaper, and in the last few shows. Check it out if you don't know. That's it. This is actually episode 398. We have 2 more episodes for the 400th episode, boys and girls. We're coming up on our 400th episode, coming up on our 10-year anniversary. And also shout to my brother Paul, and check out where we'll be doing our first 40 under 40. We see other people did it, and they do it every year, and very few black and brown people are in that 40. And there's 40 black people under 40 that's really doing something. So we're gonna be Black Westchester gonna do ours. So we kicked it off on Juneteenth. Open nomination till October 31st. It's on the website. Email blackwestchester@gmail if you need more information. Until next week, peace.
Peace.